Hi, in this slide, we're reviewing three types of super losing accounts. After we do contractors, we're going to do industrial maintenance, repair, and operating, and original equipment manufacturing ingredient distributors. We'll see an MRO guy who, you know, went to the mat to get this big $2.5 million out of the warehouse at 18% margin contract on a sort of a, it wasn't really an integrated sole supply. I mean, it was certainly it was a sole supply type of thing, but the net of it was they were losing $150,000 in the account, and how did they turn that around to a profitable one? A second one is to tell the story of a fellow named Sidney Port, who basically took some little fledgling business and turned it into Lawson Products. And basically, he innovated integrated supply units. I mean, sort of think of him as the forerunner of MRO vending machines. He would go in and say, what are all the littles that you need, on an emergency basis? Otherwise, you've got expensive downtime. We'll create a little racking system for that and put it in and so forth. So he grew like crazy, made lots of money, took it public. It was a fantastic story. But every company may have spots of, in a sense, loss and solution carve outs that they can do for some of their customers. We're going to look at a an integrated supply company. In other words, that's all they do is integrated supply for MRO stuff, and they don't buy and stock any of their own stuff. They buy all of their necessary inventory from master distributors, but each job they have to do a sort of a one-off design of the whole thing and figure out all the costs. They actually have to have a profit and loss statement for every customer, and they have to have a balance sheet too, because the profitability can look pretty good, but the customer may say, we want lots of just-in-case inventory, and it's your inventory till we use it to take away the shrinkage risk. So this puts a lot of inventory investment potentially on the integrated supply distributor's balance sheet. So they need an extra balance sheet for each account. But the general reasons as to why they exist and customers are buying from them and they're growing like a weed and what they're doing apply also for general distributors. Again, you have precision supply carve out possibilities that could use their lessons. We'll look at an OEM ingredient distributor, electrical passive components, who was delivering just in time, but some of the items were the equivalent of paper clips that were then stocked out and needed emergency fill-in rush orders, which had huge downtime costs. So how they renegotiated that system, and basically instead of delivering paper clips twice a week, they deliver them maybe once a year. So we'll look at that. And then a helter-skelter, super workaholic job shop kind of guy who say no to he'd take any job, having never done it before. He'd figure it out. All customers are good customers, but there was no scale to what he was doing, and he needed all these random eclectic items and all these special orders that he'd then cancel. And he was killing this a distributor with all these small orders, and was wondering, well, why does the distributor not have the same philosophy as I do, which is to work like crazy and make no money and never grow. So we can learn some lessons that way, both directly and indirectly. We'll look at brokerage sales reps. There's sort of a range from pure broker guys who are independent cowboys just looking for some distributor to be their credit, to provide credit. There are other brokerage sales reps who control their business, and they could switch from one company to another and take their business with them. But who they switch to has got to have a more tricked out, complicated bag of tricks to support that brokerage guy. And so, how you make a happy home for these people and even become a magnet for them is a good question. Then we'll get into some distributors find out, God, my whole business is nothing but small customers and orders. I'm going to turn my warehouse into a cash and carry specialty business. And it isn't something that necessarily scales. It goes national. It's a way of surviving in a large, diverse city like New York City or Miami or Los Angeles. So we'll look at, and then there are a few people who have actually come up with a wholesale concept where they have a metroplex hub, and overnight replenish and cross-stack to little convenience stores where they sell, typically it's kind of contractor, repair, maintenance kind of items. But how do they do that and make money? We'll look at that. So that's another 3 sets of case studies to come, and then we have one more slide for case studies. Thank you.